Okay, let's quickly recap what we had discussed on a master data relation. So it is a required field. Whenever you create a master detail field on a detail object, it is a required field by default. And you can create a master detail field only when you have a no records on a detail object. Why? Because on existing records, when you create a new field, it will be a blank. So system will not allow you to create a master detail relationship on an object which is having a records. It is detail object. So how we can do? Then we have to create a lookup and then populate all the data for that lookup and then convert it to a master detail relationship. And otherwise you can delete all the records and then create the master detail relationship field. And usually when you create a master detail relationship itself, you see an option called allow reparenting. If you check this box, then only it will allow reparenting. If you don't check that box, once you create a child record, that is the detail record with one master, then when you're trying to edit that detail record, it will be disabled. Whatever the relationship field you see, it will always be read-only mode. So it will not allow you to select a different master. So all you have to do was you have to go to that field and check allow reparenting. Then only you will be allowed to change the master record on the detail record. Okay, we can create a roll-up summary fields on a master object. This is, you have to remember, roll-up summary will be created on the master object. The relationship field will be on the detail object, and where we can see counts of max min values we can do. And the parent and child. So when parent is deleted, because in detail records they are required, the master has to be, but if you delete a parent, the entire detail records which are related to the master will also get deleted. And when you do a undelete the master, the child records will also get undeleted. That means, but the thing was, recycle bin, you cannot see the child records. We can see only the parent record. And there will be no owner ID for the child record. Whoever the owner for the master, the same owner will be applied to the detail as well. And not only the owner ID, all the security, sharing settings, everything will be available only for the master. Whatever the access for the master, same will be applied to the child as well. Okay. So that's all we cover. Now some more points I want to add here. So those are like so we cannot create we cannot create a master detail relationship on all objects. We can create only on a custom objects. If you might have seen in existing objects or the standard objects, you will not see a master detail relationship. You will see only lookup relationship. But some of the field functionalities are supported like a master detail, but it looks like a lookup. But we'll cover that later. So to where we can create a master detail relationship only on a custom objects. Okay, can we relate it to the standard object? Yes, we can create between a standard and custom, but standard object should be always a master. Custom object will always be detailed. So if you're creating between two custom objects, you can make either of the object as a master detail. Again, if if you're trying to make any of the object as a master, it should not have more than one master detail. That means maximum you have a two. So if you having a two, it cannot be a master for some other record. Okay, now let's try those. One master detail relationship is between some other color, what between standard and custom objects. Standard object is always master object. Why? Because the standard object features will come from Salesforce, right? We are not controlling much on that. So when you make standard as a detail, everything will be controlled from this custom object, which is overriding the Salesforce features. That's why Salesforce will not allow you to create a master data relationship field on the standard objects, and we can use the standard fields, standard objects as a master only, not details. Fine. Now, one more point is we cannot use, before that I need to make one more point. We can have maximum to master detail relationship fields per object. So maximum we can create a two master detail relationships. When we have a two master detail relationship, then it is called junction object. There are some points to cover when we're saying a junction object. Okay, before we discuss that, when we have a master detail relationship, so the sharing, owner ID, everything will be controlled from a master object, correct? Now, when a detail object is having two masters, then how the owner ID and sharing security will be controlled on the child record. So you might have a different controls on the one master and different controls on the second master, and a master one have one owner ID and master two might have a same owner or different owner ID. Then how the impact on the detail? So how the security of the detail record will be controlled, either master one or master two. So this case, what we call it as, so we cannot create two fields at a time, right? We create one by one. So whatever the master detail record, sorry, master detail relationship you create on a detail record first, that will be your primary master. So all the permissions, owner ID, everything will be inherited by the primary master in the junction object. Owner ID and share, share, sharing and security will be controlled by primary master. Now the question may come, how I can change the primary? So I have two masters, how I can change primary master from one object to other object. So I have a master 1, master 2. Master 1 is a primary now. So I want to make master 2 as a primary. How I can do? I have to delete master 1 and create again. So when you delete it, so only master 2 is master for the detail. So it will become a primary. And when you create again the master 1 as a one more relationship called doing a master the 1, then it will become a secondary master. So there is no other way. You can change the master primary master on the junction object. So whichever is present first, that will become a primary master relationships. Okay, and okay, for the secondary master will also have a control related to sharing and security. You might not have owner ID, but sharing and security still resides with secondary master also. That's how it is. So if you have access to the both primary master and secondary master, then only you will be having access to the secondary object. But if you look at a owner ID perspective, then it will be controlled by the primary master. Okay, now junction object cannot be a master to the other object. So if you have only one master, then it can become a master to the one more object. That can be possible, but a junction object cannot be a master to the other object. Okay, I think we are good so far. We covered most of the points. Any questions you think that we are missing, or any scenarios you feel there is a possibility? Okay, let's jump on and create some master fields and create some roll-up summary. And there are some more points when we have a roll-up summary field. Let's cover that. So let's create first master detail and then cover the roll-up summary and points related to the roll-up summary we'll discuss. So why? Because the theory is getting longer and we have to do so many things to show you in Salesforce. So let's create. Okay, so we have only one project for now, and I would like to create between custom object and a standard object. So we have a project object, right? So I want to create a master detail relationship with the account. Okay, I'm creating a new field which is called master detail relationship. So remember, we had ran out of some conditions. We should not have a records, but already the project is having a records. Let's see whether it will allow or not. Creates a relationship that links this object to another object. The relationship will allow user to click on a lookup icon to select the value from the pop-up list. The other object is source of the values in that list. These are like what we discussed. So basically, it's a relationship we link to the other object, and this when we create this field, we have kind of a lookup, and where we have kind of search and select the values from the other object. Creates a special type of parent-child relationship between the object, child or a detail, and another object is a parent or a master, where the relationship field is always required in the detail record. That means this is the object is a detail when we create a master detail in this one, and always it is a required field. And ownership and sharing of the detail record are determined by the parent master record. So that's what ownership means, owner ID, and sharing and security will be determined by the master record. When user deletes the master record, all detailed records also deleted. You can create a roll-up summary fields on a master record to summarize the detailed records. And the relationship field allows user to click on a lookup icon, select value on a pop select. The master object is the source of the list of values. Create relationship that links the object for external object. Those data is stored outside a Salesforce as well. Okay. Sorry, this is for the next field thing. This is all we have. Most all the points we have covered. So moving on. So at the end, if we all correct, then it should not allow us to create the field. Why? Because we already having two records. So it will allow you to create only. I don't know to rest here. So if you see, observe the points here. Sharing settings. Select the minimum access level required on the master record to create, edit, and delete related detail records. Read only allows user with at least record access to the master record to create, edit, or delete related detail records. Okay. So you were saying, right? So if you want to create a detailed record, at least you should have access to the master record, right? First, that is once it is linked. So before it's linked, when you're trying to create, you have to search for the master, right? So if you want to search, you have to access to the master records. So let's say we are relating it to the account. So in the account, they have 100 accounts, but you have only 10 accounts. You have access to only 10 accounts. So here, how what is the access level you have and how you can pick. Here we are restricting, even if you have a read-only access also, allow them to create a record. That's what it means. So so that we're going to cover next topic. So on the record level also, we have a read write permissions. All we have the sharing security of the records. So we can have a read only, read write, delete, view all, modify all. There are some permissions we have. So it's asking you, if you only have a read only, that's enough to create a child records. If you have to select this one, you should have read and write, then only allow them to create a child record. Then you have to select the second option. Let's keep it second one. See here, allow reparenting. If you don't check this box, once you create the record, it will not allow you to reparent. So I'm not checking this box for now. Let's see and come back and check this box. This is I think previously we are seeing it, add to a custom thing. Okay, there is one more filter we have options. So this one also we can set later. One thing was, let's say you having a relation with the account. So you have 100 accounts and you have access to the all 100 accounts. Now, when you do a search, you want to look at all 100 records, or the 100 records has to meet some criteria. Let's say if they are approved accounts or like gold partner accounts or accounts from the USA or accounts from a so and so country, then only allow them to parent. So if you want to apply some condition to which master you want to link, then you can apply a filters. So you can give a values like in the account record, let's say account name, or if you want to say something else on the account, you have like active, and if it is only active, then only you want to field value. So if it is S, then only if account is active, then only you want to link, then you can add this condition like this. Required must match the criteria. Okay, this is what like if you want to show the error, if you are selecting a different account, then it will show the error. If you want to make it optional also, you can do it. Okay, for now, I am not applying any filter. I don't want to confuse here. So I'm not applying any filter. Just I'm allowing all accounts, and then move on to the next. So here it has to give the error. Cannot create a master data relationship. Master relationship when existing custom object. If record already exists, you must first create a lookup relationship applet and lookup field detail, lookup field or data in all rows, sorry, all records, and then change the relationship to the master detail. Okay, we cannot create this. So let's create one more object. Hmm, one more object, project, and what could be the object when you say project? Let's say I'm creating new object called a resources. So if you have a project, we have some team to work on it, right? So I want to add all this as a resources to the team. This is the object used to store the resources used for the projects. Okay, and then resource name, and that's fine. Data type as a text. I'm allowing reports, allow activities, field track history, chatter groups, everything. I'm putting in the deployment, allow search. This is also like a related list that we are going to add or not, and launch new custom widget after saying, okay, I don't want this one. I want to add notes and attachments and do a save. Okay, I created a new object. So when so just now I created, right? So there is no records definitely. So I want to relate project here. Let's create a master detail relationship with the project. So if you observe here, both are going to be a custom objects. So both are custom objects are selected, and these steps what all we have seen. This going to repeat. Field is used to map to the project record. Select the project. Belongs to. Okay, child relationship name. This is what something I have not explained before. So child relationship is used when you have a other way around. There's a connection, right? This is a connection between the two objects. One is a master, one is a detail. When when we are looking from a detail side, so when you see when you're in a detail object and trying to see a parent, sorry, just making detail in parent. So you are on a detail object and you're trying to look at the master. Who is the master? So this is the field, project field, which will link directly to the master record ID. It will store, and this is the field used for it. Okay, now, so similarly, master will also look at the childs, right? So it will have more child records that are detailed records. So when master want to see how many child records it have and how it will refer. So this child relationship name is used when we are looking from a master side. So from master, if you want to see how many how many detail or child records you have, then you have to use this field as a resources. So where we going to use that, I'm going to explain. So this is from child to parent, and this is child to, sorry, parent to child. This one is used parent to child, and this is a child to parent. Sorry. I just clicked on some other link. It just went back. Project. This is here. I'm keeping it as a resources, and I'm not allowing a reparenting. And let's do next, next, next. And if you observe here in the profiles, there's no option to control anything here. Why? Because by default, master data relationship is a required field. When you make required field, also you see similar kind of a disability. Why? Because you have to give access. Then only the user can create a record. So it's mandatory to have a visibility. So we cannot control it. It was safe. Done. So we have created a project. Now, whether we have created a tab for the resource or not, let's see. Nothing we have not created. So you remember how to create a tab? Setup, search for tabs. Here in the custom tabs, create new, select the resource and select the tab style, and that's it. So what will be the label for the tab? Does anybody remember what will be the label for the tab?
Resource, right?
Okay, where we control that tab name. So here we don't see any option for the tab name, right? Just we have selected the object name. It is resource, resource. Okay, so you don't want it as a resource. You want it as a project members. Let's say. Then how you will change? Remember where we control the tab name. So have added this resources to the Aseptec app. So I'm open Aseptec app, and you see, okay, if I refresh, yeah, or not. Okay, I need to check the profile also, whether I gave permission to the profile or not. Profiles, I need to go to system administrator. I need to look for resources. This is one, right? Resources. And then see here, I made it as a default off. So when it will show up in the app, when it is a default on, then only you can see in the app. Even though you added the tab in the app, if you make it as a default on, then only you can see it. Otherwise, it will be on the menu bar only. Okay, now I will refresh. Now you can see the resources. Let's create one resource and see. New resource name. I'm saying resource one. I'm searching for the project. I want to assign this to the project one and say, okay, now I change my mind. I want to change this this resource to a project 2, not the project 1. Okay, let's do edit. See here, I don't have option to change. It's disabled for me. Because, any guess? Why it is allowing, why it is not allowing me to change? Why it is read only, even it's edit mode. Was able to change the name. I was not able to change the project. How I can change? Resource fields. This one, right? Master detail relationship. We have to check allow reparenting. Then only it will allow you to change the parent on the record. Allow reparenting. So child records can be reparented to the other parent records after they are created. Okay, great, thanks. Done. So now I will edit. Cannot refresh. Sorry. See here. Now I have a option to change it.
Mm.
Okay, makes sense. What is allow reparenting? How we can do now? Other scenario. So what we said, if you remember, will not have a owner ID for this resource. So let's open a project also here. I'd like to edit this object and add the owner if I have page layouts. Owner, I don't have owner project. Have option for the change owner. It should be owner as well field. Okay, you see owner here, right? You see a owner here, but when you look at a, where is the resource? So you have one resource, right? You can see when you have a child to the record. So tracking history is one child. Similarly, resource also one child. So I want to open this one. And if I try to look at for the owner, so do you see any owner field here? We don't have. Why? Because the owner of the resources will be same as the owner of the master record. That's why we don't have a owner for the detailed records. Any points that we have not observed here? So we are not able to create if we have a records. And one more thing is like we cannot create a master detailed relationships on a standard object. Let's take account as a let's try to create a ma master detailed relationship on this one. See here, do you see any field
Mm.
master detailed relationship? No, right? And you're trying to create any field custom fields on a standard objects, you don't have option to create a master data relationship field. You can check any standard object. You don't have option to create a master detail relationship. Okay, now we want to create a junction object. Okay, junction object. So I will
Oh,
make this resource itself a junction object. So let's create one more field here. I'm going to resource fields and relations. I want to create one more junction object as a master detail relationship to the contact object. So resource has to be one of the contact, right? So we have a standard object called a contact, and I will create a contact resources allow reparenting, and do a save, next, next, save. Now, okay, again, we ran into the same issue. We cannot create a master title with existing record.